Our story begins with a man named Wang Sheng, a soldier deployed on a high-risk mission. As he parachutes into the eye of a violent storm, something extraordinary appears before him. A radiant spirit in the form of a phoenix, locking eyes with him mid-air. Then, without warning, he finds himself in a strange encounter with a mysterious woman. Confused, Wang Sheng listens as she calmly asks him to end her life. As he cautiously steps forward, she suddenly vanishes into thin air. Snapping back to the real world, Wang Sheng realizes something is terribly wrong. He never deployed his parachute. With no way to reach his squad and time running out, he begins to plummet toward the unknown. Meanwhile, in another part of this world, a young woman named Song Yan is confronted by soldiers from the Dai Huan faction. They warn her not to interfere as they attempt to seize a forbidden treasure. Song Yan is also being forced into an arranged marriage, an agreement set by her family's elders. But unwilling to marry the man they've chosen, she fabricates a story, claiming she already has a fiancé. Dai Huan laughs at her defiance. With a mocking grin, he challenges her supposed fiancé to show himself and try to rescue her, if such a man even exists. Just then the sky trembles. A figure falls from above, plunging into a pool of water surrounded by a glowing circle. It's Wang Sheng. Disoriented, he finds himself underwater, surrounded by tiny fish that begin devouring one another in a frenzy. One of the small fish slips into his body, and moments later, the remaining fish merge into a massive, monstrous creature. The energy from the fusion sends Wang Sheng hurtling backward, helpless against the overwhelming force. Still dazed, Wang Sheng looks around, confused by the ancient-style clothing worn by everyone. For a moment, he believes he's accidentally stumbled onto a movie set. Song Yan quickly steps in, declaring that Wang Sheng is the fiancé she had spoken of earlier. Meanwhile, the enormous fish from before has transformed into a powerful creature known as a Yuan spirit. Sensing an opportunity, the soldiers of Dai Huan move swiftly, sealing the spirit before it can escape. Turning his attention back to Wang Sheng, Dai Huan sneers at his unfamiliar appearance, mocking him for wearing what looks like the clothes of a barbarian, someone from the wilds with no place in their world. With a smirk, Dai Huan unleashes his own terrifying spirit beast, a display of power meant to instill fear in all who watch. But as he strikes, Wang Sheng reacts with precision. One clean shot, perfectly aimed. In an instant, the threat is gone. Dai Huan is defeated. Seizing the moment, Song Yan's loyal guards launch a counterattack against Dai Huan's soldiers. The clash erupts into a fierce battle. There's no turning back now. Once the dust settles, Wang Sheng, still unfamiliar with the world around him, tries to make sense of everything that just happened. He's soon informed that the man he killed was no ordinary opponent. He was a young master from the powerful and feared Dai clan. Realizing the danger he now faces, Song Yan urges him to retreat to the mountains for safety. Though Wang Sheng agrees, he can't hide his frustration. Being called a barbarian had struck a nerve. Later, as he washes his face in a nearby stream, he pauses, staring at his reflection. To his shock, he looks decades younger. The truth hits him. Back in his own world, he had already grown old.
我寻思着你家也就几十口人那种，谁想到还是个超级大家族。莫非就是你们宋家？
没错。
野蛮人没见过世面，你都担待。哼。
Back at the Song family estate, word spreads quickly. The townspeople are abuzz with gossip. How could the honored daughter of the prestigious Song family be engaged to a man they call a barbarian? Despite the whispers, Song Yan insists that Wang Sheng enter the estate with her, but not everyone welcomes him. One of the household servants is clearly displeased by his presence. In response, Wang Sheng calmly offers the servant a sword, an exquisite weapon taken from the earlier battle, its craftsmanship unmistakably valuable. Only then does the servant's demeanor change, treating him with respect. Still, not everyone is pleased. Someone watches from the shadows, clearly irritated by Wang Sheng's arrival. Elsewhere, within the estate of a respected elder, Song Yan's older brother, they're surprised upon hearing that his sister has already brought her so-called fiancé home. That night, alone in his quarters, Wang Sheng records a private message. Speaking into the device, he hopes the recording will one day be found should he die in this unfamiliar world. He sets his mission clearly. First, to pretend to be Song Yan's fiancé. Second, to find the Phoenix Spirit, the mysterious girl whose appearance brought him here. The next morning, Song Yan finds Wang Sheng training. Watching silently, a thought passes through her mind. He really is quite handsome. Later, Wang Sheng is given the chance to learn more about this strange new world. He asks about the Yuan spirits and soon learns a crucial truth. The larger and more powerful the Yuan spirit within someone, the greater their potential and strength. The revelation piques Wang Sheng's interest. He wants to know more. Meanwhile, a new figure enters the story, Song Tian, a member of the Song family. Though polite on the surface, something about him feels off. Song Yan clearly holds resentment toward him, and with good reason. Before long, Song Tian begins mocking Wang Sheng, assuming he's uncultured, someone who eats raw meat and has never tasted fine food. Wang Sheng doesn't stay silent. With sharp wit and a calm demeanor, he gets his revenge, teaching Song Tian a lesson in his own way. Song Tian walks away, clearly irritated, his jealousy evident. It turns out he, too, harbors feelings for Song Yan. Meanwhile, Wang Sheng asks Song Yan if there's a way to determine the level of his Yuan spirit. She agrees, and together they head to an academy, where young disciples are actively training. Observing their speed and strength, Wang Sheng begins to imagine what it would be like to face them all at once. Even with just military tactics, he thinks, I could still take them down. But his prolonged gaze doesn't go unnoticed. The students, sensing no chi or spiritual presence from him, begin to question his worth. Some even mock the idea of him joining their ranks. Eventually, they reach the beginner's hall, the place where one's Yuan spirit can be revealed. Wang Sheng steps forward, eager to see the spirit within him. The result leaves everyone stunned. A crippled goldfish appears, his Yuan spirit. Song Yan refuses to believe it. She accuses the mirror of being broken and tries it herself, only to find it functioning perfectly. The instructors explain that the goldfish is one of the lowest-ranking spirits, incapable of advancement. Laughter erupts from the younger students, who mock Wang Sheng for having a weaker spirit than even theirs. Unable to bear the humiliation, Song Yan grabs Wang Sheng's hand and pulls him away, fleeing into the forest. There, she tells him it's best to leave the city before things get worse. But Wang Sheng remains calm. Looking toward the sky, he speaks with quiet resolve. Even a goldfish one day might become a dragon. He won't give up. Not now. Not ever.
永远也不可能进入一重境。
而为龙，威力豁然。废物，只有这里废了，再者，谁说鲤鱼就没有变化？
As Wang Sheng wandered through the city alone, the stares followed him. The rumors about his Yuan spirit, a lowly goldfish, had already spread like wildfire. Though irritated, he kept his composure, choosing patience over pride. While exploring, he encounters a strange street beggar named Ling Shu, a mysterious figure with little interest in small talk or flattery. Instead, Ling Shu is obsessed with one thing, food. Desperately hungry, he begs Wang Sheng for something to eat. Wang Sheng offers him a snack from his own world, a processed treat foreign to this land. One bite and Ling Shu is hooked. The taste overwhelms him. Seeing that Wang Sheng still had more, Ling Shu snatches the remaining food and bolts. But just before disappearing into the crowd, he tosses Wang Sheng a strange ornate ring, its purpose unknown. Later that day, Wang Sheng returns to the estate, only to find Song Yan waiting for him. With a heavy heart, she again pleads with him to leave the city, handing him a pouch of money and spirit pills. She can no longer bear to see him humiliated. Song Yan admits she regrets bringing him to the academy in the first place. But Wang Sheng, resolute and calm, assures her he has no intention of backing down. He vows to protect her, and to train hard enough to prove everyone wrong. But just as he sets out to begin his training, a new threat emerges. A group of hostile figures steps out from the shadows. Their intent is clear. They've come to kill him. Just as they were about to strike, Song Tian appeared, pretending to be concerned about Wang Sheng's condition. But beneath that false kindness, he was really mocking Wang Sheng for having a weak Yuan spirit. Song Tian didn't stop there. He even told Wang Sheng to work under him, looking after chickens, dogs, and pigs, clearly aiming to humiliate him in front of Song Yan. Despite the insult, Wang Sheng stayed calm and accepted the offer, but deep down, it seems he has his own plan for revenge.
哦，不用谢，不用谢。今天晚上养猪斗狗杀鸡。
Sure enough, later that night, Wang Sheng quietly snuck into Song Tian's residence, just as Song Tian was laughing, still proud of having humiliated him earlier. But that very night, Wang Sheng made his move and began his revenge.
该用早膳了。
Days passed. Wang Sheng had now turned his focus entirely to training in secret, deep within the forest. He also took the cultivation pills given to him by Song Yan, hoping they would aid his progress. To his surprise, the Yuan spirit that everyone had looked down upon wasn't as weak as they thought. In fact, he was able to gradually strengthen it. However, he soon discovered something strange. Time within that space passed differently. A few hours there were equal to 3 full days in the real world. This revelation left Wang Sheng stunned. Meanwhile, word had spread. The assassination of Dai Huan had reached the ears of the clan elders. As a result, both the Dai and Song families declared Wang Sheng a fugitive, and he was now being hunted. Wang Sheng was now being pursued by a group of high-ranking cultivators who were after him. Along the way, they discovered an item belonging to him. Curious about its contents, they investigated, unaware that it was actually a trap. In an instant, the object exploded, catching them off guard. Most of the attackers were defeated on the spot, but one remained, their leader. Even so, Wang Sheng swiftly overpowered him without much effort. Soon after, he encountered a girl named Gao Yao, a poor wanderer struggling to survive on her own. Impressed by Wang Sheng's strength, she quickly grew to admire him and begged to become his disciple. But Wang Sheng coldly rejected her and walked away. That night, as he was preparing his gear, Wang Sheng sensed someone approaching. Alert and ready, he turned, only to find Gao Yao again. Determined, she pleaded once more to be his student. She claimed to be skilled in investigation, something that could be of great help to Wang Sheng, who was still unfamiliar with the world around him. While speaking, Gao Yao caught sight of the ring Wang Sheng wore. She was astonished. It was no ordinary ring. It was a rare and valuable item once gifted to him by a beggar. It had the power to store objects of any size. Seeing her persistence and sincerity, Wang Sheng finally agreed to take her on as his disciple. But just as he did, he sensed something troubling. An ambush. A group of enemies had begun to surround them. And just as expected, it was none other than Song Tian's group, driven by a burning desire to kill Wang Sheng. Enraged by Wang Sheng's earlier actions that had humiliated him, Song Tian had tracked him all the way to his hiding place. But unknown to them, the courtyard of the house had already been rigged with traps. Wang Sheng, now some distance away from the location, was calmly setting up even more traps in anticipation. Still, the group continued following his trail relentlessly. Eventually, they encountered another trap. Realizing it, they began to scoff, mocking Wang Sheng's tactics as too simple and easy to predict. But the moment they let their guard down, one of Song Tian's men triggered a hidden mechanism and was caught in a brutal trap, writhing in pain. Rather than helping him, the others simply abandoned him and kept moving. That simple trap had been deliberate, just a distraction, a diversion perfectly planned by Wang Sheng. They pressed on. Song Tian himself soon spotted a rope on the path, clearly connected to a large sharpened log hanging nearby. Thinking quickly, he diverted to the left to avoid it. But once again, Wang Sheng was one step ahead. Another rope had been buried beneath the soil, and this time, it sent yet another of his pursuers flying through the air. Still determined to hunt Wang Sheng down, Song Tian's group pressed forward until they came across a tree with writing carved into its bark. One of Song Tian's men stepped forward to examine it, but Song Tian, suspicious, held him back. He had a feeling there would be another trap if they got too close. With the area dimly lit, Song Tian made a decision. He ordered the leaves around the tree to be set on fire, confident he wouldn't be fooled again. As the flames rose, the hidden message became clear. Do not burn. It was exactly as Wang Sheng had predicted. The fire triggered a massive explosion hidden within the tree. In a moment of blind rage, Song Tian lashed out and stepped right into yet another trap. But he still refused to give up. Fueled by anger and humiliation, he pushed forward with even more fury, desperate to kill Wang Sheng. But his reckless emotions got the better of him, and he fell for yet another deadly trap. This time one that could have killed him, had he not been pulled to safety at the last second by one of his loyal men. After that close call, the group finally hesitated. Exhausted and overwhelmed by Wang Sheng's unrelenting traps, they no longer dared to continue the chase. Meanwhile, back with Song Yan, she was filled with guilt. She regretted bringing Wang Sheng into the Song family, and even more so for asking him to be her fiancé. But just then, Wang Sheng appeared. To her shock, he revealed how much his Yuan spirit had improved. Song Yan stood speechless. Normally, repairing a damaged Yuan spirit could take 6 months or more. Yet Wang Sheng had already restored his. The impossible had become real. Wang Sheng's reappearance did not go unnoticed. News of his return quickly reached Song Yan's older brother, Song Min, the current patriarch of the Song family. Soon after, the great elder of the Song clan appeared, communicating through a messenger bird. A private discussion was held regarding Wang Sheng. Song Min mentioned that Wang Sheng was no ordinary person. He possessed great potential and remarkable talent. But the great elder showed no interest in any of that. He was focused on one thing only, capturing Wang Sheng, who had killed the young master of the Day family. It was clear that the Song clan was under pressure from the Day family, leaving them with little room to act freely. In the end, despite Wang Sheng's potential, they decided once more. He must be eliminated. After the incident, Patriarch Song Min summoned several individuals to appear before him. The first was a teacher who had spread rumors claiming that Wang Sheng possessed a defective Yuan spirit. These rumors brought significant criticism upon the Song family. As punishment, the teacher was sentenced to 3 months of teaching without pay, a relatively lenient consequence. Next came a servant, the very one responsible for informing the Day family about the young master's death. It was revealed that the sword previously given to Wang Sheng had originally belonged to Day Huan. This servant had sold the weapon, ultimately leading to the tragic misunderstanding. As a result, he received the harshest punishment of all. Although the Elder Council had urged Patriarch Song Min to detain Wang Sheng and Song Yan and hand them over to the Day family, it appeared that Song Min remained hesitant. He wished to question both of them personally before making a final decision. The following day, Song Min approached Wang Sheng, who was in the midst of his training. He personally offered an apology for the actions of his family members. Song Min then explained that the Day family was not only seeking Wang Sheng's death, but also that of Song Yan. Upon hearing this, Wang Sheng was filled with anger. Song Yan was not the one responsible for the killing. It had been Wang Sheng himself. However, Song Min justified the decision by stating that it was for the safety of thousands of citizens in the city. He also expressed his deep affection for his younger sister. In the end, Song Min advised that the two of them escape together. But suddenly a grand elder appeared. He forbade them from fleeing so easily. Nevertheless, he offered to protect Song Yan if Wang Sheng could pass the family's trial and be accepted as a disciple. Wang Sheng would be granted 3 days to navigate the city while evading capture. If he truly wished to help Song Yan, he must prove his resolve. With unwavering confidence, Wang Sheng accepted the challenge.
好，就这么说定了。
They then met with Song Yan's guardian to discuss the family trial, which involved facing a monstrous anaconda. Judging by their current strength, it seemed an impossible task from every angle. However, they recalled Song Min's words, that on that very day, the anaconda would be shedding its skin. It was during this vulnerable moment that they would have to strike and kill it with a single blow. Even so, the guardian was puzzled as to why Wang Sheng would take part. In his eyes, Wang Sheng had no strength whatsoever, and he openly underestimated him. Offended by the guardian's condescension, Wang Sheng became visibly agitated and challenged him to a one-on-one duel. To ensure no one would be seriously injured, Song Yan imposed a rule. Wang Sheng would not be allowed to use any weapons, while the guardian was forbidden from using his Yuan spirit. And so, the duel began. Cornered and frustrated, the guardian eventually broke the rules and unleashed his Yuan spirit, nearly striking Wang Sheng. In response, Wang Sheng retaliated, swiftly disarming and locking him down before aiming his pistol at him. In that moment, the guardian admitted defeat and with it acknowledged Wang Sheng's strength and skill. The day of the trial had arrived. The guardian was already in position, closely observing the movements of the anaconda. He confirmed that the creature was currently in the process of laying eggs, clear evidence that it would soon begin to shed its skin. Just as Song Min had advised, their only opportunity would come during that vulnerable transformation. Wang Sheng and Song Yan were then separated. Wang Sheng maintained his distance, taking an observational position. Before parting ways, he handed Song Yan a communication device in case she encountered any danger. Wang Sheng then began preparing his advanced equipment, while on the other side, Song Yan and her guardian waited patiently for the anaconda to begin shedding. From morning until late afternoon, there were no signs of the creature emerging, until a loud hissing noise echoed through the area. The anaconda was finally preparing to shed its skin. Wang Xing was stunned by the sight. The creature's size was enormous, far beyond expectations. According to his analysis, its scales were too thick to be penetrated by conventional means. As the shedding began, the guardian launched the first strike from above and urged Song Yan to finish the task quickly. Meanwhile, Wang Sheng, unable to see the unfolding battle from his vantage point, decided to reposition himself. Back on the battlefield, Song Yan struggled to pierce the creature's thick hide. In a critical moment, she summoned her Yuan spirit, which successfully immobilized the anaconda. Their plan, orchestrated by Patriarch Song Min, appeared to be working perfectly until the unexpected happened. The anaconda suddenly rose again, and in that instant, Song Yan was pulled into a vision of her past. She saw her father, still alive at the time, residing at home. He was the Grand Chief Elder of the family. During their final conversation, her father revealed that he would soon be departing to one of the most dangerous places known. But 2 years passed, and he never returned. Now, back in the present of her memory, Song Yan stood before the family elders, preparing for her Yuan spirit fusion ceremony. The elders had long declared that her father was dead. Yet, deep in her heart, Song Yan refused to believe it. She clung to the hope that he was still alive. But what shocked her most was the revelation of her destined Yuan spirit. It was ordinary. This came as a bitter surprise, as her father had once promised a high-level Yuan spirit, befitting her status as a daughter of the Song family. When she voiced her disappointment, the elders scolded her, accusing her of ingratitude. In the end, she was forced to accept the ordinary Yuan spirit. Her hopes and her pride quietly shattered. The guardian, too, fell victim to the anaconda's illusion. Within it, he saw the revered figure of Song Yan's father, to whom he had once pledged to protect Song Yan for life. However, as we know, this was merely an illusion. The scene shifts to Wang Sheng, who had found a strategic vantage point and resumed his observation. Upon witnessing their state of illusion, he attempted to contact Song Yan using the device from before, yet received no response. It appeared Song Yan was still semi-conscious within the illusion, only faintly hearing Wang Sheng's calls. Fortunately, at this crucial moment, she awakened, which also freed the guardian from the illusion. Nevertheless, the anaconda had completed its shedding process, ensuring their defeat. They decided to retreat rather than face certain death. Wang Xing had also signaled them to follow the direction of the fireworks. Unfortunately, the forest had already been surrounded by a barrier, preventing any escape. Just as Song Yan was about to sacrifice herself, Wang Xing accurately shot the anaconda's eyes twice in succession, rendering the beast unable to rise again. Song Yan held back from detonating herself. Tears fell from her eyes as she expressed deep gratitude to Wang Sheng. However, before they could catch their breath, an even more powerful aura emerged, greater than that of the previous serpent. Wang Sheng, sensing the imminent threat, urgently told Song Yan to retreat immediately.